Thank you, Anushka, for joining us on Weekender. First of all, many congratulations on launching your clothing line, Noosh. While many celebrities have kind of entered a similar business opportunity with their own clothing lines, what is your USP?
Firstly, thank you for having me. I have not tried to actively go out there and figure out what other people are doing and set myself aside from that. And I'll tell you the reason for it. I believe when you have a certain something that you're sure of and you believe in, then you just take and make all efforts you possibly can to enable that belief to come alive. The way I am as a person, I have to be completely consumed with what I do and have to be completely involved with what I do. And I think it's a great thing actually. The more the merrier, the more the better. More options for people. It's nice when you are passionately involved with something. Then you ensure that you add that kind of value for the people, for the stakeholders, the people you're getting into business with. I do think that the business model that we have set up is one of its kind and not a common one as you've put. For me, this was something that I've been trying to do for the past 5 years. The idea came 5 years ago that I do something like this? So it took me a while to set up the model that we did and to set it up with the right people.
So what's Anushka's style mantra?
I think my style mantra is exactly what you see, what you will see with Nush. I believe that clothes are very important because clothes enable you to express yourself, express your personality, express your sense of style, add individuality. It gives you a sense of confidence also. But at the same time, I think that it should not be a thing of pressure. It should not be something that should be difficult. It should not be something that you feel like, how do I style myself? How do I look good? So I wanted to create a clothing line that was very easy to style, easy to self-style for women of all age groups, of all sizes, and of all kinds of styles. Like everyone has a personal style, but you should be able to style yourself very easily. So you create clothes that are self-stylable.
You've launched this clothing line in partnership with Suddi Industries. Why choose Suddi?
Suddi because I think they were people and they were players who have very good experience and also very good distribution experience, very good manufacturing experience. They have also manufactured a lot of global brands all around the world. So their systems are very much in place. And most importantly, what I was trying to create with Nush, they understood that. They understood where I was coming from. They were the right partners in that sense. And also, like I said, you find that comfort with somebody, and I found that comfort with them. Certain limitations that I would see in other high street brands, because high street it's quick fashion, So sometimes these things can be overlooked. So for me, that was very, very important. That apart from the aesthetics, that the quality control is in check. And I think that these were people who had the same values as me.
So take us through the product line, what all is on offer and what are the price points?
The reason that we have so many styles, we have upward 160 styles. That's a lot of styles, especially if you're launching in autumn winter, which you kind of confine because of the weather. So the styles kind of get reduced. But the reason we have so many designs is because we want to make, like I said, firstly options, as many options as possible, and because it has to cater to all women with all kinds of choices, and also to be able to, like I said, self-style, you need to create that many more designs.
True.
So it's from 699 onwards, anywhere between about say 3,300, 3,500. It is accessible from comfort point of view, from pricing point of view, and from styling point of view also.
Now let's talk about your first entrepreneurial venture, Clean Slate Films, that you launched in 2014 along with your brother. Tell me, how did the entrepreneurial bug bit you?
When I was a kid, I was very into enterprising. So I actually tried to start, and I did start also, a beauty parlor at the age of 10 or 11, I think I was, and I just got all my friends together and I said we should start our own beauty parlor. So whatever little bit of creating our own products and all of that, and with whatever we found in the house, and making pamphlets and giving it out to people and actually inviting them, and few women actually came also. And I used to live in an army cantonment. I used to organize Christmas parties and Diwali parties, and as a kid, like I'm all like 10 years old, and New Year parties, and tell kids you can bring 5 chairs from your house, you bring this food, you bring that, and we're going to have this, and create sets, like choreograph everything, like putting it all together. And I tried to start a library as a kid on circulation. I said, everyone give me like 10 books of yours. I'm going to properly like tag them and everything and make sure that, we can, it will be returned to you, and started a circulation library also in my friend's garage.
Okay.
I always had that in me. I'm somebody who, I go after things that inspire me. I go after, if I see an idea and if I see value somewhere, then I go after it. And I think that's how it's been, that's why maybe starting a production house and making films at the age of 25. I was 25 and I started Clean Slate Films.
Yes, at the age of 25, what gave you the confidence?
What gave me the confidence at the age of 10?
Usually actors turn to production at the fag end of their career. What gave you confidence to start at 25?
I don't think I understand usual. Like, I don't understand what is usual. You do things that make sense to you, right? There are a lot of things that are usual. But if everyone starts just doing the usual, then how will we just do something different? Yeah. I think for me, it made sense to do that. With the film that I started, it was important for me to step in as a producer to enable the film to actually happen in the first place, and to make sure that the film is able to reach a wider audience. And for that, if making and producing the film and coming on board as a producer made more sense, than to just do it as an actor. And that started my journey. I wanted to just make different cinema. My brother and me are very passionate about films. We are like-minded people, so it helps to have a partner like him. And I think you're right. A lot of people did tell me that it's too early on in your career, and at this age, actresses don't produce films. They produce films at the end of their career. So I said, that makes absolutely no sense to me, because if right now I have value as an actor, people want to come and watch me in the cinemas, then why should whatever I've achieved so far in life and whatever market value I have been able to achieve as an actor, why should I not have the first go at it or first claim at it? Why should someone else benefit from it, right? So I said, I'm going to start producing my own films if I can, especially films that you're heading as the main protagonist. There's a lot of things that you shoulder.
It was a heartbreaking film.
And you are taking so much of the burden of a film, then why should you not go all in? So either it's all in or nothing for me. That's the way I've been always.
So Clean Slate Films is 2 years old. It's essentially a startup. How do you function? Are you lean, frugal?
It is a startup. It's absolutely, and I've always said that it's a startup. And we're learning as we go along, and it's challenging. For me, personal growth is most important. Ultimately, I think we've all been put on this planet to make ourselves get better and make ourselves the best version of what we are. So whether it's me choosing the right kind of films to become a better actor, to make myself the best version of the actor that I can possibly be, or to becoming a producer, becoming an entrepreneur, starting my own clothing brand, these are all things that challenge me. These are all things that push me into a direction where I am facing things that I could have never imagined that I could do, and then you overcome them. That gives me a lot of drive. That gives me some strange amount of focus that I cannot imagine. I mean, maybe that's what gets me going,
So you're the first Indian actress to be on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine. You won GQ Award Women of the Year recently. What sets you apart from the rest?
I think these are things that are not for me to think about. That would be extremely vain and self-consuming of me to do.
Okay.
But I think I know one thing for sure, that I am, in that sense, quite fearless. Because what happens is, there's purity in your first thoughts, right? The first time you think of something, it's very pure. It's only later on that the world sinks in, that the world starts to make you feel like, no, but that, I told you, when I wanted to start my own production house, it was a pure thought. I want to create good cinema. I want to create cinema that can have some some lasting impression in people's minds in Hindi films. And then comes the world, where it starts to make you doubt things, and you start thinking about, but किसी और ने करा है क्या? किसने किया है? उसका कैसे चला? इसका कैसे चला? So I don't put myself in that situation only. If I find inspiration in something, if I find value in some idea, then I go after it. And then I don't do it alone. Clean Slate Films is with my brother. And even this is with partners. I feel like then you have to find the right people who have the right mindset, understand from where you're coming, and who understand the simplicity of the things that you do. And I'm willing to fall on my face. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to make mistakes. When I was growing up, I used to keep telling my parents. I said the biggest problem with Indian parenting is that we're constantly teaching teaching kids to not fail, to not make mistakes. And I think that's, and my parents have also done that. My parents have, because parents protect, and parents try to overprotect you. And I told my parents, let me make mistakes, let me make, and I'll learn from them and I'll go ahead. I mean, you can't lead a life in which you feel like sab kuch acha hi acha hoga. It's not going to be like that. But these are all calculated risks.
You started working at the age of 15 as a model. You worked for designers like Wendell Rodrigues, Rohit Bal, Tarun Tahiliani, and you even excelled at studies. So tell me, how were you so sure at that young age of what you wanted to do?
The thing is, I always knew I was going to be famous.
Okay.
And I know it's bizarre, but since I was a kid, I just knew I was going to be famous. I don't know why. I used to give myself interviews like these in the bathroom. And who would have thought? Like there was nothing leading up to me becoming famous. Nothing was set. My father wasn't famous. My mother wasn't famous. I didn't come from a famous family. I had no famous people in my entire family. I also did not have the kind of any available setup where I thought that I could get into this and excel and become famous. And I started modeling at a very young age. Yes, I was very young when I started modeling. But I was good in studies. I'll tell you why. Because I started modeling at a very young age, and there were a lot of people around, right? So many like. Relatives तो खैर नहीं थे because we lived in army, like my father was in the army, so we lived in army cantonments and all of that. But people just around, uncle, aunties and all of those, people who would come and tell my parents, oh, but she's modeling, she's at such a young age, you should be careful and da-da-da, And I just didn't want people to say anything to my parents, because I just wanted to be left alone and be able to do what I'm doing. So I would make sure that I come first or second in my class just so that nobody told my parents anything. And I could continue doing what my parents were very supportive, but I knew that I didn't want to inconvenience them in any way. And for my parents to have to listen to people ki, your daughter is not studying well and she's doing this, that was the only reason why I used to study well. Also, I think this is a problem. When I'm doing something, I have to be very good at it.
It's always a little harder as an outsider to find your feet in the industry. What was your biggest struggle, and did you ever doubt yourself?
My biggest struggle would be that because you're an outsider and you don't have any preconceived notions about how the industry functions and how you should function in it, which I think is not a bad thing also now that I come to think of it. But at that time, there is no validation for your actions because you don't know how to go about things. And if you are somebody like me who cannot conform to things, and I can't just do things because someone is telling me to do it, and it has to come from within, it has to make sense to me, because obviously when anything you do, you have a certain idea of how you want things to be. Then I guess it takes a little bit more of, I guess, your confidence in yourself, in your beliefs. Yeah, because a lot of times people will advise you things. Like I was advised so many times that you should do more films, because if you look at it in comparison to my contemporaries, I've done a lot lesser films.
You've been very selective.
I have been very selective. So people would say things like, you should do more films. Out of sight is out of mind, and these things would make zero sense to me. Like I thought I believe you're as good as your last film. You're as good as the characters that you play. You're as good as the success of your movies. So it's not about just doing films just for the heck of doing films, and or maybe that you can do, but it'll get you to a certain place in life. To me it did not make sense. So those things would be difficult, to stick to your beliefs, which are coming from where? Just from inside. It's not coming from, has this one done it, has that one done it, where the entire place is only telling you that this one has not done this, that one has not done this, look at this one's choreograph, look at that one's choreograph, and constantly putting you in a place where you're being compared to somebody. And I think it benefits everyone, creating insecurities in you benefits everybody. So people do that. It benefits producers, it benefits studios. So they create insecurities, because when they create competition, then they get a better deal. You understand?
Got it, yeah. Let me try and understand how you manage your finances. How well do you invest? Are you a spender or are you a saver?
I am actually, my father always says कि क्या बोलते हैं पैर से ज़्यादा चद्दर से ज़्यादा पैर नहीं
फैलाते.
हाँ, तो I'm that.
Okay, so
I'm that.
So you're
I'm very into saving and all that. I'm Taurian, so I'm very into security and securing things and thinking of long term, and I am that person.
So where do you invest?
And
Is
I'm
it
not a splurger. I'm not someone who needs to like. For me, I like property.
Yeah, so
I like investing in I like investing in property. And I'm not someone who like I'm not into cars and all of that so much, and and not because I feel ये तो depreciating value है इसका तो ज़्यादा नहीं ऐसे कुछ नहीं मैं सोचती हूँ. मुझे generally I think I'm made in a way that security is very important to me. So
yeah, I think that's the background. That's how your upbringing.
I
is,
guess
sort
it is.
of,
Like I said, that that factor of parents teaching you safety, I think that I've learned well from there.
Anushka, you're nominated as the ambassador for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. In fact, we recently saw your support. You were cleaning a beach in Mumbai. What is your message to fellow citizens?
We have to understand a collective responsibility towards making a more developed country and development in every sense of the word. You can make those changes in yourself. So even when I went to that Versova beach and I was clearing that thing out, I went with my parents and friends and my team, and there were some people, there were some fans who were taking pictures and all of that, and I told them, I said, what are you taking pictures? Come and clean this, So they're like, no, and they're getting shy. I was like, why are you getting shy? What is there? I actually had such a great time doing that, I had a great time cleaning that. Like I actually felt so good at the end of it, and I was shocked at the kind of things people have thrown into. I don't know what they think the ocean is. Like they think that the ocean is just like nothing is going to ever come back from there. So they were like mattresses and cushions and sari and like kind of things I found. It's like I was amazed. Kind of disregard people can have for one another and think that we can just throw these things and somebody else will do it and somebody else will do it for us. So I think it's about making those changes for yourself, and people feel that it will not affect their lives, but it does. Every action of yours now, whatever action you do towards somebody else also affects your life only, and mostly your life actually.
Yeah.
So I think the jhadus on the street is good, but I think it's the mind ka jhadu, and I guess that's why people like me, influencers, people who can have some kind of, can have some positive impact on someone's life. It's important for us to go out there and take that initiative and do that.
You're one of the busiest actors in the industry. How do you balance work and play? Is there play? And also, what would an ideal day be in your life?
For me, I always say that I like working and I would like to work every day. But I would like, the best situation would be that if we were by law only allowed to work for 10 hours in a day.
Yeah.
And I say 10 hours because I end up working 16 hours in a day, So I'm saying like 8 to 10 hours is maximum. I think it would be so much more productive, so much more, everything would be like, that would be an ideal world to be living in.
All right, we hope someone's listening out there. Now, let's talk about brand endorsements. You recently, endorsed Polaroid Eyewear. Is there a conscious effort in, choosing or selecting a brand that you would want to be connected with, because there's a massive fan following that you have?
There is a lot of caution that I take into account before I sign a brand. Firstly, especially to do with fashion and style and lifestyle, because it's your own lifestyle that should not be affected if the brand is not it doesn't suit you or doesn't look good on you, and you can't go out there and say ye pehno to main to nahi pehnti hu. But or even with some other other brands. But I've been very lucky. Either I'd already been using those things or have used it, or by understanding
You've liked it.
I've liked it. So it's important because I don't want to go out there and vouch for something that I can't actually stand for.
Take us through some of your future projects. I believe Pari is slated for release early next year. We just saw the teaser for Sui Dhaga, which was wonderful. So talk to us about your future projects.
So yeah, Pari releases in February next year, February 9th. That's our third production. And I'm very happy with the kind of response that the posters have gathered. It's created the right kind of curiosity amongst people, which is what we were going for.
Can you share something with us about the film?
Not much yet. It's there's a proper marketing strategy in mind, so I'd like to unveil it like properly. And then Sui Dhaga, you saw the. I'm not at liberty to talk too much about Sui Dhaga, so whatever you've seen in the video is.
But that's again slated for release next year.
That's also next year, and then I'll have Anand Rai's next film opposite Shah Rukh. And Katrina is also in the film.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So now, you have a production house, you have a clothing line. What is next? And are you, a lot of celebrities have started investing in startups. Would that interest you? Because, you keep on doing these multiple different things. What's next on the list?
I like to just do things and just let people see what I'm doing rather than talking about it. There are certain things that I have in mind, certain things that I'm trying to do. So
none you can share with us? One, two?
No, I think those things will be very obvious, and everybody will be able to see that. But I think something that's very close to my heart is my work towards animal welfare, and that's something that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah.
And
you've turned vegetarian also.
I turned vegetarian for that reason also. Even Nusha has absolutely no animal skin, animal products used to create clothes, so that's environmentally friendly. So I would like to do something in that regard also.
All right, Anushka, it was a pleasure talking to you. I had so much fun. Thank you so much. With that, it's a wrap on this special edition of Weekender.